Hi, guys. We're going to start off on the TISSNET exam, one of the best HR institutes in the country for MA. While all of you would be thinking of an MBA in human resource management, the one interesting thing about TISS is that it gives you an MA, the Masters of Arts, but the MA in HRM is as worth or probably better than many HRM courses in the entire country. In fact, this year 85% of the batch, 85% of the TIS MA batch has got more than 20 lakhs as average, not average, 20 lakhs salary, starting salary after their graduation this year. 85%, mind you, that's like a huge number. That means only about 15% of them who probably would have got something like 17, 18, or 16 at worst. We are talking about getting into that exam. This exam probably is the last exam before Maharashtra CET. And what we will look at is, given that we have about 18 days, the exam is on 26th of February, and it's a 100-minute exam. Since it's a 100-minute exam with a 100-question paper, I think let's understand, let's see how is it that we can go ahead and make the best utilization of the next 20 days or 18 days, and more importantly, in the actual exam itself, how do you maximize score? What is the minimum score required? I think this and more I will take up in the next 15 minutes. And any questions that you have on TIS and or the TISSNET as such, please feel free to uh, say. So I'm just adding it to the stream, and see, Shreya, if you can just show it as a uh, slideshow instead of this one. If you can just make it into a slideshow. Yeah, that's great. It's still not coming as a slideshow. In the meantime, any of you students who have any questions, please feel free to ask. You're not able to show, then can I? Do you want me to? Shreya, what I'll do is you just withdraw it. What I'll do is I will share it this time. No issues. Let me share the entire screen. Let me go to the presentation. Okay. Let me just quickly go to the presentation, guys, and showcase to you what I want to have the next few minutes. Right. Here is what we go. Once again, okay. Shreya, if you can just come and tell me whether this is clear itself.
I'm sorry, sir.
I'm
It's
sorry.
not visible.
It's not visible, is it? Some
Yeah.
issue with StreamYard, it looks like, for some reason or the
Yes.
other.
Yes. Yes. There is a.
Okay, let me try it again for our students, but otherwise, let me see if I can just showcase a window and see if it makes sense. Is it now by any chance?
Not yet.
Mehak says, "Can you shed a TISSMAT?" I don't think there is a TISSMAT this year, Mehak, either as far as as far as the notification has been given. So don't worry about that. Which topics to focus? I'll speak about that, Nivedita. I thought I will have a presentation which I've also made for the same. So, Bhumika, you'll have to figure out the three sections, which is a section which is not giving you enough marks. 30, 30, and 40. That's what you have, right? So, the understanding which ones don't give you marks or which ones do give you mark can kind of make a huge difference to your plan for the next one itself. Meaning, if for example, how are you getting verbal 30, quant and reasoning 30, 40 marks in verbal ability in uh, uh, the GK section. Now, when you're talking about 30, 30, and 40, let's also look at what is the cutoffs required. If you look at the last few years cutoffs, it ranged between 68 marks, which is last year, to 73 the previous year, and 75 the previous more year prior to that. So out of 100 questions, you need, and there is no negative marking. First and foremost, all of us have to understand that when you are thinking of a strategy, you need to make sure that in that 100 minutes you finish. With that 100 minutes, you definitely do all 100 questions. You need to mark all 100 questions, of which the minimum cutoff is there only for the GK section, and that is 14 marks. That's 14 marks. Now consider that if you can get 14 marks, the rest out of the 60 questions, which are there in verbal and the quant and reasoning, which is going to be very straightforward and easy, you can actually get 50 plus marks. You could get 50, 55. If you get around 55, 56 plus another 14 will give you guarantee a TISSNET TISS call. However, the way I look at it is 14 marks for GK is only should be looked at for those people who are probably not so great in GK. Even then, 18 days are there. There is something that you can really do. Having said that, your pacing of 100 minutes if you can, because that 40 questions in GK can be done in less than 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes max. You have 85 minutes for 60 questions. Even if you look at 30 questions of verbal ability can be done in 30 minutes. For every one of the quant questions, 30 questions are there, you will have close to 55 to 60 minutes. And most of the questions that have come in TISSNET have been very simple. Remember, this is the same exam for not just for MA in HRM, but also for the organizational development, the OD course, or for all the courses that TISS takes. All the courses that the TISS takes, not just TISS Mumbai, TISS Hyderabad, and TISS couple of other places that TISS is there in. And that is the exact reason why I'm saying, don't worry about that, is what I would say. Okay? Now, since TISS has made it clear that there will be no reservation applied in the first stage of, can we expect lower cutoffs this year? So Dipankar Barua, lower cutoffs, since no reservation applied in the first stage, they've never applied any reservation in the first stage. It's always the scores. So I don't expect it to be any lower than 68 or 70. In fact, let me tell you one thing. There was a time when 82 was the cutoff only, even though there is nothing called any other criteria except the score criteria. The reason for that is the exam paper is very straightforward and simple. And that's what you need to understand. What I'll also do is to tell you that, look, what comes in English. I hope you understand what I'm saying. In English, they ask you simple word choice and sentence correction, or simple odd ones out, analogies, synonyms, antonyms, grammar. Even reading comprehension will be very simple. If at all you lose marks, some 3, 4, 5 questions on verbal reasoning, that is statements and assumptions, etc. kind of things. Beyond that, I don't think you need to worry about that. So verbal ability, out of the of course, if your vocab is weak, then or grammar is weak, then you will struggle a bit. Even with the worst struggle, I expect that people can make 20 marks, if not more. 20 marks, if not more, out of 30. That's what I would look at it. Then the second thing, if you look at it, is mathematics and logical reasoning. Now, when you talk about mathematics, they ask you very basic arithmetic, basic geometry, very straightforward lines, triangles kind of things, basic trigonometry. It is very basic, like sine 90, sine 60, sine 30, or cos 30, which is again, you hardly will make a mistake in that. Mean, median, mode can be asked. Again, very basic. Nobody asks you standard deviation levels at all. And the reasoning will have a data interpretation set. Mostly can be solved in no time. If there are 4 questions or 5 questions, you can solve it in something like 5 minutes, but you can take 10 minutes. Remember, there is a lot of time. Puzzles are given, straightforward puzzles. Within logical reasoning, that could be blood relations, direction sense, coding decoding, number series, letter series, all these things that those of you have written snap, etc., or even an nmat, you will find that easy in that sense of the word. You have number series, for example, you need to spend a little time making sure that you don't make mistakes. So here is that out of the 30 questions that come in mathematics and logical reasoning, I think you should gun for nothing less than 24-25 marks. If you can get the 24-25 marks and 24-25 marks in English, even for a not so good English student, I am saying try that 50 out of 60. Then the entire story is you have 40 questions on the GK side. That's it. And if you can look at what are the kind of questions come in the GK side, the next 18 days can be used for improving on that. Now, whether we like it or not, they will give you questions because it is going to be anything to do with social sciences. So it could be on budget, but budget is too early, too late, actually, I would say. But all schemes which are to do with agricultural schemes, social schemes, it could be business schemes, obviously. But because this exam, remember, this exam is for social sciences. There are MA in social science, MA in HRM, MA in organization development, MA. So don't expect too much of business coming in. So you can find a lot of questions on women empowerment, child upliftment and education, and then of course all the social schemes, agricultural schemes. These are the ones that you can get first. Social studies, they can ask you, a little bit of geography, little bit of history on that. Science and technology will be based again on agriculture or something, not anything exotic. Sports can be asked for sure, like 21st Grand Slam has won by our friend Rafa Nadal. Maybe, for all you know, you might be asked. Then there is a little bit of an art and culture, Indian art and culture. This is static GK, Indian history, static GK. When was the Quit India movement? When was the first battle of Panipat fought? And very little one can do about it as it comes in. One other important area is the environment area. February 2022, you don't have to worry about it, Sangeeta. So don't worry about it. So Priyanka Agarwal, to answer your question that you have asked a long time back, it is static GK will be some 20 questions at least, or 25 questions, and about 15-16 questions will be your current affairs. Okay. Jyoti, in general, sale test marks might be a little tougher than the actual exam in that sense of the word. Yes, there could be. So in out of the 60 marks that come to you in verbal and logic, or English and logic, English and quant and logic, if you can get about 40 marks in the CL marks, I think you can easily get 50 marks in the real paper. That is the way I look at it, at least. Okay. So with that, let me also look at one of the important things about TISSNET. Guys, it has no negative marking. Remember, again, all of you who are listening to me, there are 100 questions, 100 minutes, lots of time, no negative marking. So whatever else you do, even if you don't know the answer, you try to eliminate one or two choices. Eliminate one or two choices and mark the answer. A single question paper for all the exams. That's the important thing about this. And 40 marks for general awareness. The cutoff for general awareness is 14. So they emphasize there is no cutoff for English proficiency or math and logical reasoning. There is no cutoff, whatever you can get, but minimum 14 marks out of 40. But again, I told you there is no negative marking. You should attempt everything. Now, last moment, I'm going to tell you what is it that you should do to improve. Here is what I would say. Look at whatever the mocks that we have and the previous TISSNET papers that are available to you. If you have not solved them, resolve them again. Even if you have solved it already, solve them again. As simple as that. Point number one. Second, you can improve in all three areas given that there are 18 days to go. So look at number series, for example, if you're not improving. Look at the patterns in number series, it will improve. Data interpretation, simple table will be there, addition, subtraction, multiplication kind of things, production, sales, something of that sort will be given. It's not going to be very difficult. So do the elementary data interpretation. Elementary logical reasoning. Within logical reasoning, blood relations and direction sense would be definitely possible. And of course, the puzzles. When I'm talking about the arrangements, for example, verbal ability. Now I know how much can you do, how much of vocab can you do. You can't. But if all of you who are, if at all you are a CL student, go to the test gym, look at the vocabulary, and just try to do that 5 10 10 minute tests. Similarly, for grammar, do 10 10 minute test on the test gym. It'll help you. That'll be enough. The quant exam is easy. If you have prepared really for CAT also, or IFT, SNAP, ZAT, NMAT, whatever, boss, you will be very, 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 very comfortable. The only extra area that you need to study is basic statistics, which I talked to you about. But the rest of it, like basic arithmetic, basic geometry, basic trigonometry, understand what is sine 0 is 0, sine 30, sine 45, sine 60, sine 90. Similarly for cos, similarly for tan. Itna kar lo. I am saying you will be done with that. See, Priyanka, some of them are available online. What we can give you is what is available as a mock conversion of the mocks. Abhishek, absolutely. There's no TISSNET at Diptonil. Abhishek, there is no negative marking at all. There is no negative marking at all. I get 58 around. Can I expect clear? See, Ritesh, that depends finally on the GK part of it. Just make sure that your GK is improved. So, that's wonderful. If you can, Aditi, if you can just show us the cutoffs last 4 years, 5 years cutoffs, that graph. Yeah, this is the graph, guys, the TISSNET cutoff graphs. 16 onwards, it has been reducing for some reason or the other. Last year, it was 68. The year before, 73. The year before that was 75 and 74. The way I look at it is 70, 75 would be a very safe score. 70 would be a very safe score this year. 27 is excellent, Ritesh, which means to say you are not scoring enough in the other two areas. So you are scoring 27. That means you are only scoring 31 out of 60 in the other two sections, Ritesh Singh. 31 out of 60 is bad, is what I would say. You need to go to 45 at least, if not more. 45 plus 27 will kind of, crack the paper out of shape for you. Very unlikely, Bhumika, because they are not really available as such. Whatever was available, we have converted them into mocks and given to you. So depends on that, yeah. Don't worry about it in test mocks. If there is only one RC, two RCs, it's not necessary that it's always going to be one RC. Please understand that TISS has been changing every year. But one or two RCs is aram se kar sakte ho. There is too much of time available, frankly, Bhumika. So improving GK, Akansha, just go to the compendium, GK compendium that we give you on the CL or any other websites that you have. Focus on politics. Can you just go to what is asked the previous set? Yeah. If you look at it, basic politics, figure out all the who is the agriculture minister, social child and development minister. I think it is Smriti Irani. What are the schemes that have come in that area? Those things would be helpful. Science and technology. If you have any book, which is GK book, just go through. It's impossible to remember everything. But what you can do is just go through it over the next 18 days for 1 hour each every day, or 2 hours each every day, on sports, on art and culture, on Indian history. What will happen is in the exam, you will at least know what is not the answer, if not finding out what is the right answer. And that is what you can easily do. Yes, Pranjal. Nayanita Bhattacharya, there will be no chance for a static GK sessions at all, for a simple reason that there are, it's extremely vast to even try to do that in that sense. Priyabrata, you will have to obviously take up the TISSNET mocks, as simple as that. That is where a small package will be there for that. Okay. So I hope this very short 20 minutes, 25 minute session, I have given you everything in a nutshell what you need to do. Please go back and solve it. Once again, remind you there is 100 questions, 100 minutes. 40 of those questions are general knowledge. 14 marks is the minimum cutoff for that. So you cannot miss out. The most important thing is there is no negative marking. So you need to attempt all the questions, and you have enough time to do all the questions. Now the 18 days that are there, or 17 days that are there for you to prepare, make sure that you write a mock, look at which are the topics which are not giving you the marks, work on the topics at the basic level. I'm not even going to the level 3. Level 2 also you may not need it. Level 1 level, if you can crack it, you will be in TISS. And this is what I started off this entire session with 85% of TISS candidates of MA HRM have got more than 20 lakhs package this year. All of them have got placed, and the average is way high in the exam. So there is a huge reason why you need to get. It's almost the number one HR institute in the country itself. There are other courses also, like the organizational development, and there are other things like social service also. If you want to go into, uh, probably you can apply to that. But TISS MA in HRM is worth fighting for. That's what I would like to do. Aditya, finish verbal, finish GK, and then go to quant. That's my final last decision on that. Priyanka, there is no crash course for it. For what's the fee structure of TISSNET? I mean, it's very cheap to get there, Priyanka. Please apply. Is it okay? With that, thank you so much, and thanks for listening to me on a Tuesday evening. Wish you all the very best, guys. Make sure that you make the best use out of the last exam that is there before, of course, the Maharashtra CET. More valid for a Maharashtrian with 85% reservation. Here, this is an all India exam for that matter. With that, thank you so much once again.